So the other week I had talked about a podcast I was listening to called Abiding Together. Three women, Sister Miriam James, Heather Kim, and Michelle Benzinger. Really, really great podcast where they take deep, they go deep into the traditions of the Catholic Church and apply it to everyday life, and they do it in a really exceptional way. But anyway, one of them was talking about their last episode for this year was on seasons, seasons of the heart and seasons of transition. And one of the ladies was talking about the difference between going deep and going shallow, which I talked about in a previous Porch Talk of mine. And rather than doing a lot of things and not doing them necessarily, doing them at a shallow level, just as she said, bring the focus in tighter. Do fewer things, but then do them either well or do them at a much deeper level. And this led her to start doing some reflections about the process of doing that, doing it, cutting away from things that are either ancillary, not necessary, or things that you need to do to bring that focus in a little bit tighter. Which then was a segue in her thoughts about those times in life where things got cut away from her over which she had no control. Times when they had financial difficulties because the money got cut away. Times where there was sickness because the health got cut away. And how incredibly frustrating and kind of really frightening those periods can be. And she said it led her to focus on those the poverty and the times in her life where the seasons that the locusts have stolen. That was an amazing biblical image where you had the idea of like the plagues, where all of a sudden the locusts come in suddenly and then just decimate everything and take everything away, and you're in this season of want and poverty. And she said that some of those times were seasons that she caused herself because of bad decisions, and all of a sudden that led to some very, very serious consequences. And then there were other times where she thought she had done something wrong, or she had angered the Lord, or something was her fault. And as she focused on these and reflected on these seasons where the locust had stolen, she realized, you know what? They weren't my fault, and it wasn't anything that I had done wrong. This is just a part of life, and there was something there that the Lord was trying to tell me, and a certain place where He was trying to lead me, and there were very deep, wise lessons that the Lord taught me in those particular seasons of transition and those seasons of poverty. Who talks about this and wrote about this a lot was Thomas Merton. As he looked at the changes that happened from, he went into the monastery in 1939, right at the start of World War II, and you want to talk about a season that the locusts had stolen. And then we come out of that, and all of a sudden there was another time of that. He said the 1960s, where everything that people had thought what the United States was and did just radically changed in just a decade. And so I think it's sometimes, if you're feeling that you're in a place or a season of transition or a season where the locusts have stolen something, maybe it's not your fault, and maybe it's something that the Lord is trying to ask you to go a little bit deeper. Maybe there's a lesson there, and maybe He's trying to take you to a promised land. You're going through a desert, but there is a Jordan River to cross, and certainly a harvest of plenty when you get to the other side. God bless.